Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now it's real time, sponsored by the Mill Casino.
It's called Pacific Offshore Charters, owned by Andy Karlovic. One of the coolest boats that if you get a chance to get out with Andy, you're just going to be happy you're going to be on that boat. It is all by itself, but he'll also take you to where the fish are. Andy, how's it going this morning for you out there on the Pacific?
We are stacking lings and rockfish right now. Fishing's been really hot last week.
Now, you said this past week, was it kind of slow prior to that, or has it just been a slow progression, or is this week is starting to kick off?
It wasn't a slow progression. It was the weather. We had a lot of wind, a lot of weather, a lot of cancellations due to weather. But I mean, as you can see, we've got a flat ocean today. It's supposed to be pretty decent tomorrow. You got time to fish? Get out here. They're snapping.
How lucky, man. I literally have never seen an ocean that flat. And all my life, all my times out there, it's like I'm in a small boat and the water is, 12 and 14, at 5 seconds. Doesn't look like that today.
Yeah, it's not that. It's 2 on 14. It's flat out here. It's beautiful.
All right. Well,
great day.
What area are you in right now, Andy? Are you out of Tillamook? Are you north or south? Where are you?
We're fishing out of Garibaldi, 3 Arches, really popular spot. There's quite a few boats out here right now. Everybody's doing well. I'm seeing nets fly. People are catching lingcod. People are catching rockfish. There's a really good bite going on right now.
And that's your typical day when you're out there chasing bottomfish, right? Rockfish and lingcod. Running across any of the fancy, cool ones that you got to let go or super excited to see when they do come across the boat?
We do catch yellow eyes. We make sure to send them quick. I don't like catching them. If I get in a section where there's yellow eyes, and I've got them marked on my plotter, we tend to stay away from that. We want those things to come back.
Yes. Good point. If you can avoid them, do it absolutely. And then, of course, like
Exactly.
Andy just mentioned, descending, using your descenders, let alone being a legal thing, is good for the fish, of course, to help them survive. All right. So what's your day going to look like today? You're right now. You got your clients on bottom fish. Are you going to stick with that? Maybe make a change? Are you going to do some crabbing, chase some salmon around? What are you going to do?
So we dropped pots right at the get-go, and we will chase salmon. We went out yesterday, got our limits in a couple hours, got our ling of rockfish, and started trolling for salmon and got them too. I mean, the salmon bite's great. They're not big yet, but beautiful little 5-pounders. There's a ton of them out there.
Yeah, and those 5-pounders, I mean, obviously, if you're already out there chasing bottom fish, you have the other option, of course, everyone, for silvers that are out there currently. Yeah, they might not be huge, but they're delicious. I'm telling you right now. That's why we chase these things. They're making groceries right now, white meat, right? Or sometimes green meat, or even blue, for crying out loud. But you got halibut that are running around in a big boat like that. And anytime you get a chance to get into a boat that's got twin Suzukis hanging off of it, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty darn comfortable. I'm pretty happy when I get in a saltwater boat and it's got Yamahas or Suzukis on the back. I'm just giving you Mercury people a hard time. I'm teasing you. But yeah, no, just a great opportunity to get out there. Now, you guys got a lot to look forward to, Andy. There's a lot coming up, right? It's the end of June. We're going into July. I know that you love to chase tuna, and I know that you're right in the middle of the Oregon Tuna Classic. Now, I know that there's a lot of folks out there that are watching the show that do like to chase tuna, but this is an opportunity for you to maybe do something you haven't done before. Tell everybody about what they can expect this year for that Oregon Tuna Classic.
Well, I'm going to start first by telling you I got a live report about 15 minutes ago. Tuna are dying off our coast.
What?
I got a guy out about 35 miles, and they're stacking them. The fish are in, and they're hot and heavy right now. They're right at the 125 line. So the tuna are in. If you're watching, get your boats ready and get out there. The fish are in.
Is that a little bit early to have a report that you can be that confident in, Andy?
We've been watching the water, and it's been lining up over the last couple of weeks. And, we forecasted that they'd be out there. And I'm rock fishing today. If I wasn't rock fishing, I'd be catching tuna.
And you said you said the 125 line. For all of you salty people out there, you know what that means. And you said stacking. What's that mean? A couple of peanuts here and there, or are they putting numbers up?
The first, they deployed their lines. They got 6 on at once, and these guys are trollers, and they're just stacking their boat up. They're going to fill their boat up probably in the next couple hours.
All right,
they're loaded out there. Right
you heard it here first, everyone. 2024, the end of June, they're already stacking them tuna, that is albacore tuna, off the coast of off of our coast this morning. Well, hopefully those guys don't come in and just win that tournament right out. What can people expect when they do join up?
Say that again. I apologize.
So hopefully those guys don't go out and just put the program together and win the tournament. There's others that want to get in on it as well. Look at all the fish that his clients are bringing in. I'm sorry, Andy, but right behind you, that's like the third or fourth fish your client's been popping into the bag right there. But this tournament's coming up. Tell everybody about it.
Okay, so the Oregon Tuna Classic, it's our 19th year putting this on. And, you know, the goal is to raise as much money and food for the Oregon Food Bank. You know, 1 in 8 people in Oregon are hungry. And it's horrible, you know, thinking about that. So, you know, a bunch of guys, we got together 19 years ago, put a tournament together, and it's all about raising money for the Oregon Food Bank. We've given them millions of pounds of food over the last 19 years and close to $1 million. We're all volunteers, and, you know, it's a really great event. And more importantly, tuna fishermen are competitive. We like to brag and, you know, stick our chests out and stand on that podium. So if you've never done it, come do it. You don't need a big boat. You know, I've stood on the podium on a 21-foot boat. It's all a matter of having a little luck and catching the 5 biggest fish for the event.
And that's how that tournament's run. It's not total poundage or the amount of fish. It's your 5 biggest tuna that are
5 biggest fish.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And he made a great point. Go ahead, Andy. I'm sorry.
I go, it makes it fair. So, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I've got a 24-foot boat. I got to compete against this 42-foot sport fisher. It doesn't matter. If you know how to catch tuna, you get in the right place, right time, you can win it. And the beauty of it is you win this tournament, it's a world qualifier. You know, they've stated that our tournament's one of the top 25 tournaments in the U.S. for pelagic fish.
Very interesting. Now, you mentioned that you've stood on the podium as well. Have you ever won this thing?
I didn't win it. I was second, you know, first loser, unfortunately, but I was pretty happy about it. I still had bragging rights to do that on a small boat, and I'm waiting for a small boat to win it.
He said tuna fishermen are competitive. That's to say the least. I mean, that's to put it the nicest way possible. If you want to get a bunch of type A personalities all together at one time, you put them in boats like this chasing tuna around. Yeah, they get pretty competitive. But it's also a great fleet that you guys have there. I mean, everybody seems to work together very, very well. Safety is paramount. That's the #1 thing. But when it comes to fishing and numbers, you might not get those exact things. But if something bad happens, God forbid, everybody works together. It's really an amazing fleet that we have off of our coast.
There's definitely a code involved with that. I mean, you know, you may not like the guy, but if there's a problem, you're going to be out there. You'll make a 10-mile run if you have to get there before the Coast Guard does if someone's in trouble. And we tend to run in packs. We're not as secretive like if we're fishing for halibut. My AIS is off. I don't want you to know where I'm at catching halibut. But tuna, I want friends around me in case something goes wrong because we'll be 60 miles offshore sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt, especially in your boat. You can go pretty much wherever you want. Everybody seems to work together. Now, I got to cut away here, but I got to ask you one more question. How's the halibut fishing been when you've had the chance to get on them?
So it's been hot and cold. We put 4 in the boat this week. Again, we were rockfish, lingcod fishing, and I'm like, hey, you guys want a halibut fish? We catch a halibut. But going out and trying to, you know, bang out 12 halibut for clients, it's been tough. It's been tough off our coast. I know Newport's doing really well. I know out of El Waco, they're doing pretty good up there, but our coast has been challenged.
Well, hopefully that'll improve for you. How easy is it for people to get out on the water with you, Andy, if they're watching this morning, they want to go out and take advantage of chasing groceries offshore?
They can go to my website, Pacific Offshore Charters, look at my calendar, or call me. I take most phone calls unless I'm doing stuff like this or, you know, net and fish.
Netting them, hooking them, whatever the heck it takes to fill the boat up for your clients. And yes, he's extremely well known for that, everyone. And of course, if you want to get in on that Oregon Tuna Classic, we just showed you all the information that you need to participate in that. And if you do so, good luck, have fun. And hey, I'd like to get a report from you during that tournament if we can on a Saturday or Sunday. Do you mind?
So we're gonna have Starlink on a couple boats, and 100% we'll do that. And maybe next week when we're out running, if you want a live report, I've got a couple boats that guys that are on the board with me, the Oregon Tuna Classic, that'll do that for you.
Now, if we're going to have tuna already in the discussion this early in the season, at least I'm no expert, everyone, but I've had a chance to do it long enough to kind of get an idea. That's pretty darn cool to have that to add in to the opportunities that are out there. Hey, thank you very much for spending some time. I know that you're busy with your clients back there, but it seems like they're doing a pretty good job by themselves.
We just had 2 more lingcod come over the rail, so we're doing good.
Well, good luck, be safe, and thanks again for the heads up on how things are going out there real time. Sounds like the opportunities are very, very good, everyone, if you can get yourself out there. Andy, have a great day. Be safe, okay?
You too, Owen. Take care.
You bet, bud. Take care. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I've got Mr. Terry Mulkey here in the studio himself. We're going to talk a little bit about the wrap-up on the Willamette when you're talking about springers. Can you believe that? We're talking about springers and albacore in the same that doesn't make any sense at all, honestly. We'll be back with Terry in just a couple minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive new Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.